So we're going to do the black and yellow garden spider. Ew. The scientific name is Argiope aurantia, from the Latin word for silver, and it's because it's got silver hair actually up on its head. It's also known as the Zig Zag Spider, the corn spider, the banana spider, or the yellow garden spider. Now, as we look at different elements of this spider, we have to understand the term that's called irreducibly complex apparatuses. In other words, if you've got a complex apparatus, that the whole will not work if one part is taken away. So it could not have evolved. It had to have been created with all the different parts working at the same time, because if you just had one part, it does nothing. And all the parts have to work in just the same way in order for it to work perfectly. One of the first things that we think about with a spider is their ability to make a web to shoot forth silk. And this is absolutely fantastic. Do you know men, with all the things he can do, cannot replicate making silk? The silk of a spider? Can't. Absolutely can't. The garden spider is equipped with 7 interior silk glands that connect to 3 spinnerets on its rear end, which eject silk. The silk is very complex. It has a core strand surrounded by concentric layers of nanofibers. Some are rigid, some are like slinkies, and it's according to what it's being used for. The dragline silk will be used to form the radial supports. So if you look at the web of a garden spider, this is a black and yellow garden spider's web. The radial supports, or the drag lines, are those that they will connect from 2 to 4 feet in diameter that run this way, and they will cross in the middle. You with me? So this particular type of silk is 10 times stronger than steel. Isn't that amazing? And not only is it 10 times stronger than steel, but it also can stretch to 40% of its length. The flagelliform silk forms the spirals that go around, and it can stretch to 200 times its length. So a web begins with the anchoring of the radial supports in diameter 4 feet, and they all meet in the middle. After making the radial lines, the spider will come to the center and in a clockwise motion begin to make the spirals, going clockwise out. After they've made the supports, they will come back and they will go counterclockwise and begin to make some of the sticky lines that will catch the insects. The zigzag pattern in the middle is called the stabilimentum, this zigzag, which oftentimes gives it the name of the zigzag spider. It's made from a totally different type of silk. No other spider does it. This is unique to this particular spider. Now, to make an egg sac, there are no less than 7 different types of silk that are used to encase over 1,000 eggs. So let's talk about the family of the garden spider. The big black and yellow spider is the female. The male is nondescript. He doesn't look like the female, and he's much smaller than her. When the male finds a female, what he does is he builds a smaller web nearby hers, and he will come over and very gently with his fingers begin to pluck the girl's web like a guitar, hoping she doesn't come over and eat him. So after he gets her attention, he slowly makes his way over to the female spider, and they have their honeymoon night, and then he dies. So then the female will create a wool-like blanket with silk and lay over 1,000 eggs on this blanket and wrap it, and will encase it in over 7 different types of silk, several different types and colors of silk that's almost a little bit smaller than the size of a ping pong ball, okay? And the female spider will spend the rest of her life up until fall guarding that egg sac. The eggs inside of there are like little dust particles. And what they will do is they will hatch out into itsy bitsy spiders in the fall time, but they will stay in the egg sac, and then they will emerge in the springtime, and oftentimes at just the right day in the spring, they will shoot out a line of silk called gossamer threads. Y'all have heard of gossamer threads. They will shoot out a line of silk, the wind will catch it, and they will do ballooning, and whoosh, boy, it takes them off. And they'll scatter all over the world using those gossamer threads. They consume over 800 million tons of insects each year. To put that in perspective, human beings, humankind, consume 400 million tons of meat and fish each year. We would literally be overwhelmed by insects and bugs and flies if it were not for our friends, the spiders. They are irreducibly complex apparatuses whose systems each depend on each other. Because without the proper fangs, they cannot deliver the poison. Without the perfect poison, the animal does not die and it does not liquefy on the inside. Without silk glands and spinnerets, they cannot make the web. Without the ability to make the web, they can't catch the prey. Without the ability to drink the food, without the straw, a spider would starve to death. Without all these working perfectly together with each other. We serve a great God. And that's 1 out of 43,000 species of just spiders.